Last game week, I was feeling the effects of increasing my mileage, battered, bruised and even struggling to walk at times. This coincided nicely with a holiday abroad, so I took some time to recover and recharge. Of course, this means I failed my first fitness challenge of the season. So, the question for this video is, can the season be salvaged or have the wheels fallen off already? Hello and welcome to Forfeit FPL, the channel where we convert fantasy points into real kilometers. Let's start by taking a look at the league table. As I mentioned, we failed the challenge last week, so the league table has been updated with a new rival. As you can see, the loss means the points have been awarded to our dreaded competitor, Excuses FC, the team done in the infamous black and white stripes. For clarification, if I complete my challenge for the week, I, Forfeit FPL, will be awarded the points. If I fail, then Excuses FC will be awarded the points. Hopefully by the end of the season we will be champions. We came so close to having that perfect green form, but unfortunately that red will be a stain on the record for a short time. Let's dive into the team performance and see our score for game week 6. Brace yourselves, things are about to get a bit spooky. Raya, 2. Virgil, Munoz, Van de Ven, 2-2-2. Verts and Burmo and Jai, Kudus, 2-2-2-2. I told you things were going to get spooky. Not a single return from any player so far. We almost smashed a full house of blanks, but luckily Haaland, our captain, returns again. Funnily enough, he even scored a number with 2 in it. Just let the score sink in for 1 second. How did my team do this badly? I was so perplexed while looking at the screen that I actually started looking behind the scenes for a hidden meaning. Surely having a 2 in every score has got to be a message. This can't simply happen by accident, right? I mean, for every player to play, taking into account potential attacking returns, injuries, defcon, or points deductions for conceding goals, what are the chances of this actually happening? I was convinced there was a cryptic meaning, so I started delving deeper. The first thing that popped into my head was a football meme about Arsenal. In recent seasons they've been so close to winning the league, but have just fallen short and are often clowned for finishing second. That is pretty low level though, there has to be more to this puzzle. The second thing that came to my head was a song by Lethal Bizzle. The opening lyrics are, 2-2s now, it's the remix. While I was just sat there singing this to myself, I couldn't establish any meaningful connection to our conundrum other than the obvious. It mentions the number 2. I was certain there was more to this, so I began researching online. I came across a website which discusses the reasoning behind C and 2s being repeated. Turns out, there's a spiritual meaning behind this number. Take a look at the following explanation. Just pay attention to this quote right here. Trust in the process. Trust the process. That sounds familiar. It just so happens there's a Premier League manager who is known for using this phrase. His name? Mikel Arteta, the manager of Arsenal. I wasn't entirely convinced, but then it hit me. The song I mentioned earlier with Lethal Bizzle has another artist on the track. The song is featuring Emmanuel Frimpong. Why is this relevant to this section of the video? This man used to play for Arsenal. He even mentions passing the ball to Van Persie.
No way!
So, there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. I am certain that this is proof that the FPL gods are communicating with me and they're sending messages about Arsenal. 3 distinctive links which are undeniable evidence for their communication. Now, the hard part. What does this message actually mean? I'm going to sit here and be optimistic and say they're telling us that Arsenal will finally break the curse this year and win the league. This is my opinion and I'm sticking with it. Surely the FPL gods wouldn't be mean enough to make memes about Arsenal mid-season. That would be brutal. I would love to hear your opinion on this. Do you think the message is positive for the Gunners, or are they just being clowned by the FPL deities? Drop a comment below to let me know what side of the fence you're on. Now, while I was busy Decoding messages from the universe, my bench decided to go absolutely nuclear. 35 points. That's nearly as much as my entire starting 11. A total score of 52 sees us get a red arrow and fall down to 1.6 mil. We really needed those bench points. Anyway, after that long section, let's jump into the fitness side of Game Week 6. I'll be honest, this week isn't exactly blockbuster content. No dramatic bike rides, no heroic last minute saves, just me commuting to work. Here's the thing, this might not be the most exciting week, but it's certainly the most effective. I broke the distance into small chunks, cycling to work and walking where possible. Before I knew it, I hadn't just hit the target, I absolutely smashed it. I finished with an extra 40 kilometers in the bag. This means after last week's disaster, we are back. The only downside of this game week is I didn't do a single run. So while the distance is there, the priorities need adjusting. But honestly, this is what the challenge is all about. Not hero moments, just showing up consistently and giving Excuses FC absolutely nothing to work with. The main thing is, another week, another win in the bag. Thank you for watching the channel where the real wins aren't a fantasy. Please consider subscribing to see if we can rebuild our early season momentum and keep improving. See you next week for Game Week 7.